Very good morning to all of you, my friends. Welcome back. Very good morning, everyone. Ashok Haryal, sir, I couldn't attend your previous two lectures. So, Ashok, thank you so much, and please do take care. So now, welcome back, guys. In the previous session, in the previous two sessions, we discussed the concepts relating to overhead. So let me give you a brief about what all we discussed in the last session. In fact, the last two sessions, wherein we started first with the meaning of overheads. That is, what do you mean by overheads? As discussed, all the indirect costs we call it as overheads. These overheads are incurred at three stages, that is factory, admin, and selling and distribution. Thereafter, we discussed distribution of overhead, wherein we discussed allocation, that is the overheads. If the overheads can be directly distributed, we do allocate the overhead. Thereafter, we discussed apportionment. If the overheads cannot be distributed directly, we do apportion the overheads using some basis of apportionment. Thereafter, we discussed reapportionment of overhead, wherein we were reapportioning the overheads of service department to the production department. Reason being, we need to charge the overheads of service department also. However, no units are manufactured in service department. That's why we were reapportioning the overheads of service department to the production department. Therein we discussed various methods. The two situations are possible, wherein the first situation is wherein service department provides services only to the production department, so we use direct redistribution method. If in case service department provides services to the production department as well as service department, there were two approaches, reciprocal and non-reciprocal. When talking about reciprocal, we discussed three methods, that is simultaneous equation method, trial and error method, and repetitive distribution method. And in non-reciprocal, we do use step ladder method or step method. Thereafter, we discuss the concept of absorption, wherein we do calculate the absorption rate, and that rate is used to charge the overheads of the production department to a particular product or to a particular job to calculate the total cost. Now, there are various, in the previous question, we discussed that overheads can be absorbed on the basis of either machine hours or labor hour, but there are many other ways wherein we can absorb the overhead. So let me give you a brief about the methods of absorption of overhead. So very good, Miss Neha, Miss Mamta Yadav, I think you were absent in the last session. Very good morning, Sushil. Very good morning, Kadambari. So now, when talking about the methods of absorption of overhead, so there are various methods we'll be discussing one by one on the basis of direct material. So if the overheads are absorbed on the basis of direct material, we'll calculate the absorption rate in percentage. That is overheads divided by direct material cost into 100. Let me discuss this concept with the help of an example. Let's say I have a factory wherein the overheads that are estimated is, let's say, 6 lakh. Further, the total material cost, that is, let's say the direct material cost is 10 lakh. So when talking about the absorption rate, we can calculate the absorption rate in percentage form. That is, overheads are my 6 lakh divided by my material cost, that is 10 lakh, in 200, that is 60%. So what will be the absorption rate? 60% of the direct material cost. Now, let's say I have received a job order. Let's say job order number 2105, wherein let's say the direct material cost is 20,000, direct labor cost is let's say 12,000, direct expenses are let's say 8,000. So total is 40,000. When talking about overheads, we have to charge the overheads to this job to calculate the total cost of the job. So herein, when talking about overheads, the absorption rate is what? On the basis of percentage of direct material. So here in the material cost that is incurred is 20,000 into the absorption rate is 60%. इसका मतलब ये है in simple terms कि जो भी material cost लगेगा अगर किसी प्रोडक्ट में या पर्टिकुलर जॉब में उसका 60% जो है वो overheads होगा. So herein in this situation my overheads will be how much? 20,000 into 60%, that is 12,000. So the total cost of this job will be 52,000. I repeat again. When talking about if the overheads are absorbed on the basis of percentage of direct material, then the formula is very simple. That is overheads divided by direct material into 100. It means what? Overheads material cost का कितना percentage हो? There are more methods for absorption overhead. It can be on the basis of prime cost also. Again, the absorption rate will be calculated in percentage form, wherein overheads divided by prime cost into 100. When talking about prime cost is the total of direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses. So herein, direct material plus direct labor plus direct further overheads can be absorbed on the basis of percentage of labor cost also. So on the basis of labor cost. Again, the same way it will be calculated in percentage form. So overheads divided by direct labor into 100. So wherein the overheads are absorbed either on the basis of direct material or prime cost or labor cost, the absorption rate will be calculated in percentage form. Now let's proceed further. The best method of absorption of overhead, if the question is silent, that is on the basis of labor hours. This is the best method of absorption of overhead. If the question is silent, you have to apply this method. See, in most of the cases, in 99% cases, the examiner will specify the method of absorption of overhead. That is, you have to absorb either on the basis of machine hours or labor hours or direct material cost or prime cost. But if in case, if by any chance, if the question is silent, then the direct labor hour is the best method for absorption of overhead. So herein we will not calculate in percentage form. So overheads divided by labor hour. Further, the overheads can be absorbed on the basis of machine hours also, as we discussed in the previous question, on the basis of machine hours. That is again overheads divided by machine hours. Further, it can be absorbed on the basis of units manufactured. So on the basis of units manufactured, that is overheads divided by units So these are the various methods for absorption of overhead. Which word you are talking about, Mr. Devendra Singh? So these are the various methods for absorption of overhead. As I repeat again, if the question is silent, priority should be given to labor hours. If the labor hours are not available, we can absorb the overheads on the basis of machine hour. So these are the various methods for absorption of overhead wherein we do calculate the absorption rate. So further, what will be the basis of absorption? It will always be given in the question, but if it is not given, then overheads are to be absorbed on the basis of either labor hours or machine hours. Shweta, the question will specify that what will be the basis of absorption. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. अगर मटेरियल कॉस्ट या प्राइम कॉस्ट या लेबर कॉस्ट के बेसिस पे अब्सॉर्ब कर रहे हैं तो अब्सॉर्प्शन रेट हमेशा परसेंटेज में कैलकुलेट होगा. If it is on the basis of hours or units, then no need to calculate the percentage. Yes, Kiran, if the companies are more or less on labor intensive, then they absorb the overheads on the basis of labor hours. If their work is more or less of, I mean, if it is machine intensive industry, then the overheads are absorbed on the basis of, let's say, machine hours. Further, let's say in gold industry, much and more or less depends upon the material, that is the raw gold. So therein the overheads are absorbed on the basis of percentage of direct material. So it may vary from industry to industry. अगर raw material बहुत ज़्यादा precious है, तो overheads are absorbed on the basis of cost of raw material. But if the industry is labor intensive, then labor hour, machine intensive, then machine hours. Yes, Mr. Vijay Raghavan, I'll give you time to write, please. Yes, Mr. Devendra, whatever I'm writing over the board, I request you guys to please copy. It will help you guys while revising for the exams. Mr. Srinivasan, Right now we are doing with the cost calculation part rather than cost reduction. So how to reduce the cost and how to manage the cost, I'll be discussing this part in management accounting. So don't worry. Till now we are discussing only about cost calculation. I'll be discussing this part also, Rohit Mali. Don't worry. Everything is given in the study material, but yes, you should prepare the notes so that you can revise it quickly while preparing for the exams. It is advisable to write what I'm discussing in class. Sushil Kumar Barik, if the question is silent, the most appropriate method is either on the basis of labor hours. If labor hours are not given, then machine hours. However, the information will be given in the question. Don't worry. When talking about budgeted overheads, Rohit, these are the budgeted overheads only. This costing is all what about budgeted or estimated data, my dear. Srinivasan, hopefully your query is resolved. As I said, we are doing the calculation of cost. So we are not discussing cost reduction or anything like that. It will be a part of management. It is a part of management accounting. So I'll be discussing this part in standard costing or marginal costing. There are many other techniques. Admin sir, the board is visible. Manish sir, the board is okay. Okay, sir. I have discussed that what is absorption, why do we absorb in the previous session. So I request Mr. Devendra to please refer the previous session. Sakshi, I think I request you to please refresh your internet connection. The board is visible. I have checked with the IT team. So let's start. Let's proceed further. So now, guys, we are done with the second part of the chapter also, that is distribution and absorption of overhead. Now, without wasting time, let's proceed further with the next part of chapter, that is meaning and treatment of under or over absorption of overhead. So we will be first discussing the meaning of under or over absorption. Thereafter, we'll discuss the treatment. So let's start with meaning of under and over absorption of overhead. Now, when talking about costing, and cost calculation and costing, we use estimated data. हम लोग एक्चुअल डेटा यूज नहीं करते. कॉस्टिंग इज ऑल व्हाट अबाउट एस्टिमेटेड डेटा, whether it is direct material cost, whether it is direct labor cost, whether it is direct expenses, whether it is overheads, everything is an estimated data. So overheads, what we do consider to calculate the absorption rate, are all estimated overheads. So therefore the absorption rate what we are calculating by any of the method is also a budgeted rate, or it's also an estimated rate. So I repeat again, the overheads what we use to calculate the absorption rate is what we call as the overheads what we use to calculate the absorption rate are estimated overheads. So the absorption rate what we get is the estimated rate or budgeted rate, or we can call it as absorption rate. Now, when the actual figures are out, when the actual expenses are incurred or when the actual overheads are incurred, the actual overhead may vary from the overheads as per the estimated rate or budgeted rate or absorption rate. So the difference between the overheads as per absorption rate and the actual overhead, we call it as under or over absorption of overhead. I repeat again, 1 second, guys. So guys, I repeat again, when talking about costing, we use estimated data. So as far as the absorption rate, what we do calculate is also an estimated rate or budgeted rate. However, when the actual figures are out, actual overhead may vary from the overheads as per absorption rate. So the difference between the actual overheads and the overheads as per absorption rate, we call it as under or over absorption of overhead. So what is under or over absorption of overhead? The difference between the overheads as per budgeted rate, or we can say absorption rate, or we can say estimated rate, sorry, predetermined rate. I'm using all the terms, that is the difference between overhead as per budgeted rate or absorption rate or predetermined rate. Examiner can use these words interchangeably. So the difference between the overheads as per the budgeted rate or absorption rate or predetermined rate and actual overheads. So the difference between the overheads as per budgeted rate and actual overhead is under or over absorption of overhead. I repeat again, what is under or over absorption? The difference between the overheads as per budgeted rate or predetermined rate or absorption rate and actual overhead is what we call as under or over absorption of overhead. Now, the overheads as per predetermined rate or budgeted rate or absorption rate, we can use a word as absorbed overheads. Again, what is absorbed overheads? The overheads as per predetermined rate or budgeted rate or absorption rate, we call them as absorbed overheads. Yes, Devendra Singh, we are using only the estimated data. Absorption rate can be calculated for any department, whether it is factory, office, or selling and distribution, anything. Srinivasan, if the time permits, will surely try to. Again, Miss Anne Mary, again, if the time permits, will surely try to. So, in short, what is under or over absorption of overhead? The difference between absorbed overhead and actual overhead is what we call as under or over absorption of overhead. Now, when talking about absorbed overheads, what is absorbed overhead? The overheads as per budgeted rate or predetermined rate or absorption rate is what we call as under or over absorption of overheads. So herein, there are two terms, that is under absorption and over absorption. Under absorption of overhead and over absorption of overhead. When talking about under absorption of overhead, if the absorbed overhead means what? Overhead as per budgeted rate or absorption rate. So if the absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads, it is under absorption. What is under absorption? The name itself says under absorbed hua. अंडर अब्जॉर्ब मतलब absorbed overheads अगर कम है तो अंडर अब्जॉर्प्शन. If absorbed overheads are more, then actual overheads, it is what we call as over absorption. So the name itself says under absorption. It means what? Overheads absorbed are less. If overhead absorbed are less, then it is under absorption. If overhead absorbed, that is absorbed overheads are more, then it is over absorption. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. No, Manish Kumar, there is only one basis of absorption. In traditional method. So I repeat again, guys, we are discussing under or over absorption of overhead. So when talking about costing, we do use estimated data. So the absorption rate, what we do calculate is also an estimated rate. However, when the actual figures are out, the overhead may vary. The actual overheads may vary from the overheads as per the absorption rate. So the difference between the overheads absorbed and actual overheads, we call it as under or over absorption of overhead. When talking about under absorption, it means if the absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads, it is under absorption. If absorbed overheads are more, then we call it as over absorption. Let me discuss this concept with the help of an example also. Let's say my budgeted overheads are ₹12 lakh. My budgeted are hours, let's say 4 lakh hours. It means we can easily calculate the absorption rate. That is 12 lakh divided by 4 lakh. That is rupees 3 per hour. Now, herein the information is given as regards actual data. So, herein actual hours are given. That is, let's say actual hours are 3 lakh hours. Now, actual overheads are also given. Let's take the first scenario. What if the actual overheads are 10 lakh 50,000? And second situation, let's say what if in case if the actual overheads are 8 lakh. Now we have to calculate under or over absorption of overhead. Now we have to calculate under or over absorption of overhead. So let's say the budgeted overheads are 12 lakh, budgeted hours are 4 lakh. So the absorption rate will be how much? Rupees 3 per hour. Now the actual hours are given, that is 3 lakh, and the actual overheads are given. Now what we will first do, we will first calculate the absorbed overheads. That is the overheads as per the absorption rate. So let's first calculate the absorbed overheads. Absorbed overheads will be how much? 3 lakh are my actual hours. And the overhead absorption rate is rupees 3 per hour. It means my absorbed overheads will be how much? 9 lakh. My absorbed overheads will be how much? 9 lakh rupees. I repeat again, the actual hours are 3 lakh. Into absorption rate. So this is how we calculate the absorbed overhead. That is 9 lakh. Now let's start with the first part and second part. In the first case, if my actual overheads are 10 lakh 50,000, I have got absorbed overheads and that is 9 lakh. And I have got actual overheads also. That is how much? 10 lakh 50,000. So herein what we can see is that my absorbed overheads are less than actual overhead. My absorbed overheads are less than actual overhead. So we call it as under absorption. By how much? 1,50,000 rupees. When talking about the second situation, again I have my absorbed overheads. That is how much? 9 lakh. And I have actual overheads also. That is 8 lakh. So herein my absorbed overheads are more. If absorbed overheads are more, then we call it as over absorption. Over absorption. Why? I request you to use laptop, Devendra. I'm trying my best to increase the font size, but yes, I do have limitation. So I request you, Mr. Devendra Singh, to please use laptop. No, Srinivasan, again, you're mixing few things. We are not discussing limiting factor. Limiting factor is that, limiting factor, I'll be discussing this part in detail in marginal costing. Herein, the basis of absorption is on the basis of, the basis of absorption is labor hour. So it has nothing to do with limiting factor. Limiting factor, sorry to interrupt you guys, limiting factor क्या होता है when the resources are available in scarcity. अगर कोई रिसोर्सेज हमारे पास कम अवेलेबल होते हैं तो वी कॉल इट एज लिमिटिंग फैक्टर बट हियरइन द लेबर आवर्स are not in limited supply, the enough of labor hours are available. However, since the company or the department is labor intensive, that's why we are absorbing the overheads on the basis of labor hours. So again, the labor hours are not the limiting factor. You can, Manish, depending upon the information given in the question. Sometimes the question may ask you different absorption rate for all the departments. Sometimes the question may calculate only one absorption rate. So you have to follow the instructions that are given in the question. Yes, Shweta. So hopefully everybody's query is resolved. So guys, now let's proceed further. So herein we have started with under or over absorption of overhead. What is under or over absorption of overhead? The difference between absorbed overheads and actual overhead is what we call as under or over absorption of overhead. So when talking about under absorption, it means what? Absorbed overheads, if they are less than actual overhead, absorbed overheads अगर कम है तो under absorption. Absorbed overheads ज्यादा है तो we call it as over absorption. So if absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads, we call it as under absorption. If absorbed overheads are more than actual overhead, we call it as over absorption. So we have discussed this concept with the help of an example wherein my budgeted overheads are 12 lakh, budgeted hours is 4 lakh. So the absorption rate will be how much? 12 lakh divided by 4 lakh. So this will be my absorption rate. That is, we call it as predetermined rate or budgeted rate. Now, the actual hours are given and actual overheads are given. So the first step is, this is what the first step, that is we have to calculate the absorbed overheads. That is, actual hours into the absorption rate. So this is how we calculate the absorbed overhead. Now we will compare these absorbed overheads with the actual overheads to find out whether it is under absorption or over absorption. I repeat again, guys, if the absorbed overheads are less, then it is under absorption. If absorbed overheads are more, then it is what we call as over absorption. If you guys have any doubts, any queries, you guys can please post your query. Giving you 2 to 3 minutes time to please copy. I request you guys to please copy. Hopefully your query is resolved, Mr. Srinivasan, Mr. Manish Kumar, Ms. Neha Sharma. Hopefully your queries are resolved. Don't worry, Mr. Srinivasan. I'll remember you and will mention you while discussing key factor. Don't worry, my dear. This is a part of marginal costing. Again, Kiran, your query will be resolved in marginal costing. Manish Kumar, again, it depends upon the information that is given in the question. So hopefully your query is resolved. I'll be discussing the treatment, Mr. Srinivasan. Don't worry. Devendra Singh, yes, we do use estimated data rather than actual data. The costing is all what about estimated data? Yes, Mr. Vijay Raghavan. Mr. Shyam Goyal, I hope you are thorough with the concept. I have discussed one example. Still, if you have any doubt, I can discuss another example, or I can explain the same again. Neha Sharma, when talking about absorbed overheads, what are absorbed overheads? The actual hours into the absorption rate is what we call as absorbed overheads. That is overheads. We are using the budgeted rate, but here we are using the actual hours. Manish Kumar, Shyam Goyal, Neha Sharma, hopefully you are clear. Hopefully your query is resolved. Anyone else having any doubts? Yes, Shyam Goyal. Anything else? I'll be discussing this part also. Don't worry, Shweta. Neha Sharma, any other doubts? Ashok, any doubts? Mamta Yadav, Sakshi, any doubts? Okay, so now no queries from your end. Now I have a query, so I request you guys to please answer and address my query. Since no queries from your end, so I have a query, so I request you to please address my query. Waiting for your replies. So now let's say my budgeted overheads and budgeted hours are given, that is 10 lakh and 4 lakh. Further, my actual hours are also given. Five lakh hours, and my actual overheads are, let's say, 13 lakh. So now my query is, it is under or over absorption. Further, the amount. So you guys have to tell me the under or over absorption of overheads along with the amount. So how much is the overheads under absorbed or over absorbed? Yes, it can be Nisha Kumari. So waiting for your answers, guys. You guys have to calculate the amount of under or over absorption of overhead. Okay, so Manish Kumar is the first one to answer. And I think, Manish, your answer is correct. Very good, Manish. I've got answer from Manish Kumar. Rest all waiting for your answers. Okay, so Srinivasan, perfect. Harish, perfect, correct answer. Okay, Parth Rana, yes, your explanation is correct, but you have to mention that whether it is under absorption or over absorption part. Kadambari, correct answer. Amit Biswas, again, you have not posted the amount. Rohit Mali, correct answer. Sorry, Rohit Mali, incorrect answer. Kiran S, correct answer. Mamta Yadav, correct. Sorry, Mamta Yadav, incorrect answer. Please check you have posted absorbed overheads rather than under absorption or over absorption of overheads. Okay. So now Neha Sharma, correct answer. Suman Goyal, correct answer. Okay. Ashok Kharyal, incorrect answer. Ashok. Miss Aditi, incorrect answer. Miss Anne Mary Lynn, again incorrect answer. I'll be discussing Miss Sanjana. I mean, how to treat under or over absorption of overhead and how it will help the organization. I'll discuss this part in detail in standard costing. So when talking about the management part, that is when to take corrective action, I'll be discussing this part in marginal and standard costing. Right now, we are discussing the cost calculation part rather than cost reduction part. So, okay, I've got answer from Rohan Kumar, correct. Sahita Shetty, correct answer. Mansi Sharma, correct answer. Nisha Kumari, correct answer. Yes, Parth, that's okay. Preeti, correct answer. Avinash Patil, I'm surprised your answer is incorrect. Amit Biswas, again, you have posted the explanation, but yes, the total amount. Okay, anyways, it's correct. Amit Biswas, Mamta Yadav. Now it is correct. So, for the students who are not able to answer, So herein, if in this case this information is given, then we will first calculate the absorption rate. Very important, guys. For the students who are not able to answer it correctly, guys, follow these steps. First, calculate the absorption rate if it is not given in the question. So it will be 10 lakh, that is budgeted overheads, divided by budgeted hours, that is 4 lakh. So my absorption rate will be how much? 2.5. So this is the first step. Now, second step, guys, very simple. We have to calculate absorbed overheads. How to calculate absorbed overheads? How much are my actual hours? 5 lakh hours are my actual hours into the rate as calculated, that is 2.5. So we'll get 12,50,000 as my absorbed overheads. Now we will compare these absorbed overheads with actual overheads. So absorbed overheads and actual overheads. So here in my absorbed overheads are 12,50,000. My actual overheads are how much? 13 lakh. So now see, absorbed overheads are less. If the absorbed overheads are less, then it is under absorption. अगर absorbed overheads ज्यादा होते तो we call it as over absorption. So 50,000 under absorption. So follow these steps. First step, second step, third step, fourth step. The fourth step is your final answer. Sushil, yes, I have got your answer. So Preeti, I request, Preeti, I'm surprised. Your answer is incorrect. So this is the way you have to calculate. Anyone else having any doubts? Any conceptual doubts? Ashok Kharyal, please check. Your answer is incorrect. Preeti, again, I'm surprised. Your answer is incorrect. Miss Aditi Jori, your answer was incorrect. Ashok, incorrect answer. The rest, most of the students answered correctly. Okay, guys. So this is the way. I request you guys. जिसका आंसर गलत आया, I request you guys to please copy this explanation. Wherein first calculate the absorption rate, then calculate the absorbed overhead. Compare absorbed overhead with actual overhead, you will get under or over absorption. So one more question for you guys. That's okay, Preeti. Yes, Sakshi. No worries, Aditi. So now let's say my budgeted overheads are 12 lakh. My budgeted hours are 3 lakh. Actual hours are 2 lakh. Actual overheads are 9,75,000. You have to calculate under or over absorption of overhead. Waiting for your answers, guys. Thank you so much, Parth. Yes, Sushil, I'm getting your answers, my dear. Miss Anne Mary, hopefully your query is resolved. Okay, so I've got the answers now. 1 second. So Suman Goyal. Okay, so Suman Goyal, correct answer. Then Parth Rana, correct answer. Vijay Raghavan, correct answer. Kadambari, please check your answer. Sahitya Shetty, correct answer. Okay, so Neha Sharma, correct answer. Kiran, correct answer. Ashok, again incorrect answer, my dear. Sushil Kumar Barik, incorrect answer. Manish Kumar, correct answer. Avinash, Rohan, Shyam Goyal, Preeti, correct answer. Nisha Kumari, correct answer. Sanjana, correct answer. Harish Chander, correct answer. Shweta Maruti, I'm surprised your answer is incorrect, my dear. Miss Chetlapalli, incorrect answer. Rohit Mali, incorrect answer. See, guys, if overhead absorbed are less, then it is under absorption. If overhead absorbed, that is absorbed overheads are more, it is over absorption. Don't get confused, guys. Sushil Kumar, waiting for your answer, my dear. I have not received answer from you. So, Miss Chetlapalli, your answer, I think earlier it was incorrect. Now it is correct. Rohit Mali, incorrect answer. Amit Vishwas, correct answer. Very good. Amulya, correct answer. Mansi, correct answer. Soumya, correct answer. Now I think you guys are thorough with the concept. Vadlamani, Miss Vadlamani, incorrect answer. In fact, everything is incorrect, Miss Vadlamani. Please check the concept. Jennifer, correct answer. Shweta Maruti, correct answer. Preeti Ketan, I have not received. Okay, Preeti Ketan, I have got your answer. Yes, Preeti. Shreya, correct answer. Everyone, I think, correct answer. जिसका आंसर गलत है, I'll explain. Yes, Miss Badlamani, your answer is incorrect, my dear. Still, 4 to 5 students are not thorough with the concept. So again, the same process. First, calculate the absorption rate. That is 12 lakh divided by 3 lakh. So we'll get the absorption rate 4. Now, second, what you have to do? Calculate the absorbed overheads. That is, actual hours are 2 lakh into 4. So we'll get 8 lakh as absorbed overheads. Now compare these absorbed overheads with actual overheads. My actual overheads are 975. So overhead absorbed क्या है? कम है actual overhead से. Overhead absorbed are less than actual overheads. So we call it as under absorption. 1,75,000. So Miss Vadlamani, please refresh your concepts. Sushil, your answer is correct. Very good, Mamta. Yes, Sakshi, I think I have received. Yes, very good, Sakshi. Your answer is correct. Mr. Naga Bala Murugan, your answer is correct, but you have not mentioned that whether it is under or over absorption. Yes, Sakshi, your answer is correct. I didn't mention your name, but yes, I have checked your answer. It is correct. So enough of discussion on under or over absorption. Let's revise it quickly. If overhead absorbed are less, then under absorption. If overhead absorbed are more, then over absorption. We have to compare the overheads absorbed with the actual overheads. So this is all what about the meaning of under or over absorption. Now let's start with the treatment. What will be the accounting treatment? One of the student mentioned that what we will do with under or over absorption of overhead. So let's discuss the treatment of under or over absorption of overheads. Very good, Sushil. Now your answer is correct. So now, treatment of under or over absorption. Now, treatment of under or over absorption. Under absorption, over absorption, pata to chal gaya. Now, what will be the treatment of under or over absorption? So, if it is of a very nominal amount, under or over absorption of overhead is of very nominal amount. So, if under or over absorption is of nominal amount, a very small amount, then transfer under or over absorption to costing P&L. Transfer it to costing profit and loss account. However, if it is of substantial amount, if under or over absorption is of substantial amount, if the difference is more, that is difference between actual overhead and absorbed overhead is more, if it is of substantial amount, now two situations are possible. It can be if difference is due to any abnormal reasons, or we can say wrong estimation by the management, or we can say inefficiency. If the difference is due to any abnormal reasons or wrong estimation by the management, or we can say inefficiency, then again transfer the difference to the costing P&L. However, if it is any other case, we can say due to inflation, then we have to calculate the supplementary rate and we will charge, using that supplementary rate, we will charge under or over absorption to first cost of sales, finished stock, and work in progress. I'll be discussing this concept with the help of an example. I have discussed this part in detail, Mr. Reddy. So, if the under or over absorption is of very small amount or a very nominal amount, transfer it to costing P&L. If it is of substantial amount and if the difference is due to any abnormal reasons or wrong estimation, or we can say inefficiency of the workers, then again the difference is to be transferred to costing P&L. However, if it is any other case due to inflation or due to change in government policies, then we do calculate the supplementary rate, and that supplementary rate is used to charge under or over absorption to cost of sales, finished stock and work in progress. I'll be discussing this concept with the help of an example. So I request you guys to please copy the explanation. If you guys have any queries, you guys can please post your queries. Now I request you guys to please open your study material and I'll be discussing one question from study material. It's just an estimation, Preeti. Okay, so let's start with practical question first. So I'll be discussing 1 second. I'll be discussing practical question number 8. Yes, Srinivasan, if I'm talking about overhead, it covers fixed and variable both, my dear. Sushil, again, if I say that if under or over absorption is of a very small amount, then transfer it to costing P&L. If it is a huge amount or substantial amount, check if the difference is due to wrong estimation or inefficiency or any abnormal reasons, or we can say it is due to defective planning, then whatever the under or over absorption is, transfer it to costing P&L. If in any other case, either due to change in government policies or inflation, then yes, we do need to calculate the supplementary rate, and that rate is used to charge the under or over absorption to either to cost of sales, finished goods, and work in progress. So I'm discussing practical question number 8, page number 4.73. I request you guys to please open your study material. Page number 4.73. I'm discussing question number 8. So let's start. In a manufacturing unit, factory overheads was recovered at a predetermined rate of rupees 25 per man day. So herein, so in a manufacturing unit, factory overheads are recovered at a predetermined rate of rupees 25 per man day. So herein the absorption rate is given rupees 25 per man day. The total factory overhead expenses incurred and man days actually worked are 41 lakh 50,000 and 1 lakh 50,000. So actual overheads are also given. And actual hours are also given. So my actual overheads are 41 lakh 50,000. And this is 1 lakh 50,000. Actual man days, sorry. Further, it is given that out of 40,000 units produced, 30,000 were sold. It means what? 10,000 units are still in stock. On analyzing the reason, it was found that 60% of under-absorbed overheads were due to defective planning. So whatever due to defective planning, it will be transferred to costing P&L. And the rest were attributable to increase in overhead cost. So explain how under-absorbed overheads be treated in cost accounting. So let's start. So herein we will first calculate the absorbed overhead. Absorption rate is already given in the question. So absorbed overheads we will calculate. That is 1,50,000 into 25. So this will be 37,50,000. Now, my absorbed overheads are 37,50,000 and my actual overheads are 41,50,000. So we will compare the absorbed overheads with actual overhead. So herein absorbed overheads are less than actual overhead. So we call it as under absorption. Since absorbed overheads are less than actual overhead, so it is under absorption by 4 lakh rupees. I have mentioned the page number also, it is 4.73. Now it is given that of the under absorbed overhead, 60% is due to defective planning. 60% due to defective planning. That is 2,40,000 rupees. It is to be transferred to costing P&L. Now remaining 40%, that is how much? 1,60,000. We will calculate the supplementary rate. So let's calculate the supplementary rate. So 1,60,000 divided by. See, it is given in the question that 40,000 units were manufactured, 30,000 were sold. So how many units are sold? 30,000 units. These are units sold. And 10,000 is what? Finished stock. Since we manufactured 40,000 units, of this 30,000 units are sold, it means 10,000 units are still in stock. So 30,000 plus 10,000, so we will get the absorption rate 1,60,000 divided by 40,000. So this will be rupees 4 per unit. So we will charge it to finished stock, sorry, and cost of sales. So my cost of sales will be increased by 30,000 into 4. That is 1,20,000. And my finished goods, finished stock value will be increased by 10,000 into 4. That is 40,000. So when talking about the treatment of 4 lakh, when talking about the treatment of under absorption of 4 lakh rupees, 2,40,000 will be transferred to costing P&L. Now remaining 1,60,000, 1,20,000 will be transferred to costing P&L because the cost of sales will be increased, and 40,000 we will increase the value of stock. So it will be charged to finished stock. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. In the meanwhile, I request you guys to please copy the solution. In this question, there is no no information is given as regards work in progress. See, this is the supplementary rate, Mamta Yadav. Now, how much is my finished stock? 30,000 units. How much is my units sold? 30,000 units. How much is my finished goods? 10,000 units. So 30,000 into 4, 10,000 into 4. So this is how 1,60,000 will be distributed. 1,20,000 will be transferred to cost of sales, that is transferred to costing P&L, and remaining 40,000 will increase the value of stock. Any doubts? Preeti Khetan, Sushil Kumar, Vijay Raghavan, Amit Biswas. So the total amount to be transferred to costing P&L is 2,40,000 plus 1,20,000, 3,60,000. Very good, Preeti. Now let's start with the next question. That is question number 7. Okay, page 4.72. So let's start with practical question number 7. In a factory, overheads of a particular department are recovered on the basis of rupees 5 per machine hour. So herein the absorption rate is again given in the question, that is rupees 5 per machine hour. Further, the total expenses incurred and the actual machine hours are also given, that is 80,000 and 10,000. So further, the additional information is given that of the amount 80,000, 15,000 became payable to an award of the labor code, and 5,000 was in respect of the expenses of previous year booked in the current year. So again, 15,000 is an extraordinary expenses and 5,000 does not relate to this year. So this will be deducted to calculate the actual overhead. So when talking about the actual overhead, it is given how much it is given. 80,000 of this 15,000 and 5,000 will be deducted. So 80,000 are my overhead. 15,000 being the extraordinary item, it will be deducted, and 5,000 not related to current year will be deducted. So my actual overheads will be how much? 60,000. Further, the actual hours are given in the question. That is 10,000 hours. Now, additional information is given in the question that actual production was 40,000 units. Of this, 30,000 units were sold. So 10,000 are still in stock. On analyzing the reason, it was found that 60% of the under-absorbed overhead was due to defective planning, and the rest were attributable to normal cost increase. So what will be the treatment of under or over absorption? Again, the question is very easy. So herein, my absorption rate is available, my actual overheads are available, my actual R is available. So we will first calculate the absorbed overheads. Absorbed overhead will be how much? My actual hours, that is 10,000, into the absorption rate, that is 5. So my absorbed overheads will be how much? 50,000. Now, let's compare absorbed overheads with actual overheads. So we have to compare absorbed overheads with actual overheads. So here in my absorbed overheads are 50,000, actual overheads are 60,000. Absorbed overheads क्या है? कम है. Absorbed overheads are less. So 10,000 is what we call as under absorption. Now further, when talking about treatment, 60% is due to defective planning. So 6,000 will transfer to costing P&L. Remaining 40% normal increase, that is 4,000. So we will calculate supplementary rate. So when talking about calculation of supplementary rate, again, how much it is the amount? 4,000 divided by total units manufactured were 40,000, of which 30,000 were sold. So 30,000 is what? Units sold. And 10,000 is what? Finished stock. So how much will get? So now cost of sales will be increased by 30,000 into 0.10, that is 3,000. And finished stock $10,000 into 0.10. So this will be 1,000. So this will be the treatment of 4,000. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. I request you guys to please copy the solution. Ashok, let me complete this part first. Very good, Mamta. Shobha, I request you to please refresh your internet connection and try viewing lecture over laptop rather than mobile phones. Very good, Shweta. So, remaining 1,000, it will be added to the cost of finished stock. This will be transferred to costing P&L. It will be added. See, in short, 3,000 will be added to cost of sales. 1,000 will be added to the cost of stock, and 6,000 will be directly transferred to costing P&L. Hopefully, your query is resolved, Preeti. I'm not getting what you are saying, Pawan. This is normal increase. Can you be please more precise, Pawan? Do post your query, Pawan. I'll try to resolve it. Mr. Pawan Joshi. Okay, so let's discuss one more question. I'm discussing practical question number 11. Okay, so from where the amount of finished stock taken? So, Mr. Avinash, total units manufactured are 40,000. Total हमने 40,000. 1 second, guys. So now, total units manufactured are 40,000. Out of 40,000 units, 30,000 units हमने बेच दिए. That is, we sold 30,000 units. So 10,000 units are still in stock, Avinash. Examiner will not ask this, Nisha Kumari. I'll be discussing this solution systematically. Don't worry. It is for your understanding. Very good, Kiran. So, wherein again I when talking about this concept, we will first calculate the absorbed overheads. Thereafter, we'll calculate the under or over absorption. Thereafter, if it is due to defective planning, transfer it to costing P&L. If it is normal increase, calculate supplementary rate. Now, after this calculation, again, we'll calculate the supplementary rate, that is 40,000 divided by 40,000, 0.10, and then we will charge it to cost of sales and finished stock. So let's proceed let's take a break. Thereafter, we'll discuss one more question, and thereafter, I'll put up a question in front of you. So let's take a break of 10 minutes. I'll be back after 10 minutes with practical question number 11. And I'll put up a question for you guys to solve in the session. So let's take a break. Manish sir. Welcome back, guys. So now let's start with practical question number. One second. Let's start with practical question number 11. I request you guys to please open practical question number 11, page number 4.75. Very good, Kiran. So let's start with practical question number 11. ABC Limited manufactures a single product and absorb the production overhead at a predetermined rate of rupees 10 per machine hour. At the current financial year, it was found that the actual production overheads were 6 lakh. It includes 45,000 on account of return of obsolete stores, 30,000 being the wages paid for strike period under an award. Further, the production and sales data is given wherein the units produced is 20,000, work in progress 8,000 units that are 50% complete. Out of the 20,000 finished goods, the 18,000 units were sold. Out of the 20,000 units of finished goods, 18,000 units were sold. So 2,000 units are still in stock. Now the actual machine hours worked during the period are 48,000. It has been found that 1/3 of the under absorption of production overhead was due to lack of production planning, and the rest was attributable to normal increase in cost. You are required to calculate the amount of under or over absorption of production overhead. Further, you have to show the accounting treatment also. So let's start with practical question number 11. Now, here in the absorption rate is given in the question. And that is rupees 10 per machine hour. Rupees 10. Now, when talking about the actual production overhead, it is 6 lakh. Of this, 45,000 on account of return of obsolete stores and 30,000 being the wages paid for strike period. So when talking about actual overheads, the total actual overheads are 6 lakh. Of this, 45,000 and 30,000 will be deducted, being their normal cost. So this will be 5,25,000. Further, the actual machine hours are given, that is 48,000. So now we can calculate the absorbed overheads. This will be 48,000 into 10. So 4,80,000. Now, it is given in the question. So now, sorry. Now we'll calculate the under or over absorption of overhead. So herein, the absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads. My absorbed overheads are 4,80,000 and my actual overheads are 5,25,000. Therefore, under absorption rupees 45,000. Of this 45,000 rupees, 1/3 of under absorption was due to lack of production planning. So 1/3 due to lack of planning. That is 15,000 rupees we will transfer to costing P&L. And the remaining 2/3, that is rupees 30,000, will calculate supplementary rate. Now, next step is calculation of supplementary rate. So total 30,000 is due to normal reasons. So 30,000 whole divided by. I'm writing everything in detail for better understanding. So whole 30,000 whole divided by. Units sold is 18,000. So 18,000 is what? Units sold. I'm writing units sold for your reference and better understanding. You can skip this part. Now 2,000 units are finished stock. Plus the units in process, that is 8,000 units. However, these 8,000 units are 50% complete. So we will calculate the equivalent number of units. What is the concept or logic behind equivalent number of units? I'll be discussing in detail in process costing. So here it is given that 8,000 units are 50% complete. It means 8,000 into 50%. See, 8,000 units are 50% complete. 50% complete. These 8,000 units are these 8,000 units are 8,000 units are 50% complete. Sorry. These 8,000 units are 50% complete. So the equivalent number of units will be how much? 8,000 into 50%. So this will be 4,000. Let's say if in question it is given that 8,000 units are there, they are 60% complete. Then 8,000 into 60%, that is 4,800. If 8,000 units are 20% complete, then 8,000 units into 20%, that is 1,600 we will write. That is the equivalent number of units. Okay, Sakshi. The total units manufactured, are 20,000. Out of the total 20,000 units, 8,000 units are sold. So 2,000 are still in stock. So out of the total 25,000 units manufactured, finished units manufactured, 18,000 are sold and 2,000 are still in stock. So now we'll calculate the supplementary rate, that is 30,000 divided by 24,000. So this will be 1.25 per unit, I think. Now, when talking about cost of sales, my 18,000 units were sold into 1.25. My finished stock, that is 2,000 into 1.25, and my work in progress, it will be debited actually. Work in progress 4,000 into 1.25. So this will be 5,000. This will be 2,500. This will be 22,500. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. Again, Shweta, when talking about the work in progress, we have to take the equivalent number of units. I'll be discussing this concept in detail in process costing, but as of now, I suggest you to take equivalent number of units. That is, if 8,000 units are 50% complete, we'll take 4,000. If 10,000 units are 40% complete, we'll take 4,000. So this is the logic behind equivalent number of units. If you guys have any doubts or queries, you guys can please post. Else, I'll be putting up a question in front of you. Very good, Kadambari. Very good. Very good, Suman. All your answers are correct. Shweta, very good. Kiran, very good, Kiran. Anyone else having any doubts? Ashok Karyal, hopefully your query is resolved. I have already considered the work in progress also, Mr. Gondi. Herein, my work in progress, this is what my work in progress. Unit sold, finished stock, and work in progress. Units sold 18,000, 2,000 units that are still in stock, and 4,000 units that 4,000 equivalent number of units that are still in process. Yes, Jennifer. Very good, Shweta. Mr. Gondi, hopefully your query is resolved. Sakshi Jha, hopefully your query is resolved. Shweta Maruti, hopefully your query is resolved. Okay. debited. So now let's start. I'm giving you guys a practical question to solve in the session. Budgeted rate per hour rupees 5. Actual overheads are 12 lakh. However, actual overheads includes indirect wages paid for strike period, 20,000. Awarded by court, 30,000. Previous year expenses booked in current year, 38,000. Return of obsolete stores, 20,000. Now, this is what the information given in the question now. Actual hours are given. One second, guys. Actual hours are 1,50,000 hours. One lakh 56,000 hours, of which actual hours include overtime hours, $3,000, and idle hours, 6,000. Further, additional information is given wherein of the total under or over absorbed overheads, one third is due to inflation and remaining due to wrong estimation by management. Further, one second, guys. Further, the information is given in the question as regards units manufactured 20,000 units. Of the units manufactured, units manufactured finished stock 3,000. Further, work in progress information is given in the question, that is 5,000 units are 60% complete. And 4,000 units are 50% complete. So this is the question, guys. Budgeted rate per hour is 5. Actual overheads are 12 lakh. However, the actual overheads Indirect wages paid for strike period 20,000 awarded by the court. That is, awarded by the court. So 30,000 we have to pay. Previous year expenses booked in current year 38,000. Return of obsolete store 20,000. Further, actual hours are 1,56,000. Actual hours includes overtime hours 3,000, idle hours 6,000. Of the total under or over absorbed overheads, one third is due to inflation and remaining due to wrong estimation by the management. Unit manufactured is 20,000. Of the units manufactured, 3,000 are still in stock. It means 17,000 units are sold. When talking about work in progress, 5,000 units are 60% complete and 4,000 units are 50% complete. Now the questions are, the first question for you is, my actual overheads will be how much? Second question, actual hours. Third question, absorbed overheads. Fourth question, supplementary rate. So I request you guys to please post your answers. So the first question is, how much will be my actual overheads? Second is, how much will be my actual hours? So let it be. How much will be my actual overheads? Second will be, how much will be my absorbed overheads? And the third question is, over or under absorption of overhead? And fourth one, supplementary rate. So waiting for your answers, guys. You guys have to post answer first, second, third, and fourth, wherein you have to post the actual overheads for the purpose of calculating under or over absorption of overhead. Thereafter, you guys have to calculate how much will be my absorbed overheads. Thereafter, over and under absorption of overhead. And the last one is supplementary rate. So waiting for you guys to post the answer. Gajendra Triwari, if it is over absorption, then we will credit. If it is under absorption, then we will debit. Okay, so I've got answers. Very good, Maruti. I think she's the first one to answer. Shweta Maruti. I've got answer from Vijay. I've got answer from Vijay Raghavan. I've got answer from Suman Goyal also. Mr. Gandhi also has posted the answer. So let me check first. Okay, so Shweta, read the question carefully. I think all the answers are correct, but there is mistake in one answer. So I'm really sorry, my dear. Rest, everything is correct, Shweta. Very good. So Mr. Raghavan, again, please check your answer is incorrect. Suman Goyal, incorrect answer. Mr. Gandhi, incorrect answer. Okay, so I have got correct answer from Harish Chandir. So he's the first one to answer. Okay, now Shweta also, it's correct answer. That's okay, Shweta. I understand. You have not read the question carefully. Okay, so I've got answer from Nisha Kumari also. So I think Nisha, your answer is correct. Very good, Nisha. Shweta, very good. Harish, very good. Rest everyone, please check your answers. Okay, so I've got answer from Preeti Khaitan also now. So Preeti, your answers are incorrect, my dear. So Shweta is the first one, and Harish, Harish and Shweta, your answers are correct. Rest everyone, incorrect answer. Very good, Harish, and very good, Shweta. Rest all waiting for your answers. Suman, please recheck your answer. Vijay Raghavan, please recheck your answer. Preeti Khaitan, please check your answer. Correct answer I have got only from Shweta and Harish. Rest all, I request you guys to please check and please post the correct answer. So giving you 3 to 4 minutes time. Read the question carefully, guys. Sakshi Jha, sir, should we deduct overtime and idle hours from the actual RC? Sakshi, this is a query from my side, so you have to address Sakshi. Miss Sakshi Jha, incorrect answer. Sushil Kumar Barik, incorrect answer. Manish Kumar, incorrect answer. Avinash Patil, uh, incorrect answer. I've got correct answers only from Harish and Shweta. Very good. Rest all, please keep trying. So, Mr. Vijay Raghavan, waiting for your answer. Jennifer Kadambari, Ashok Karyal, Suman Goyal, waiting for your answers. Kiran, Shobha, Mr. Srinivasan, Mamta Yadav, Amit Biswas, Mr. Reddy, waiting for your answers. Miss Mary, Mr. Ankur Patel, Shreya, very good. Your answers are correct, Shweta. Okay, so I've got answer from Vijay Raghavan. Your answer is incorrect. Suman Goyal, incorrect answer. Kadambari, I think you did a small mistake. Kadambari, incorrect answer. Nisha Kumari, Incorrect answer. Manish Kumar, incorrect answer. Preeti Khetan, incorrect answer. Okay, I've got answer from Mansi Sharma. Mansi, incorrect answer. I've got correct answer from only two persons. Rest all keep on trying. Yes, Miss Mamta Yadav, waiting for your answer. Okay, so Miss Sanjana, actual overheads is incorrect. Absorbed overhead is correct. Under absorption is incorrect. Rest everything incorrect. Okay, Suman. Sakshi, incorrect answer. I request you guys to please read the question carefully. Yes, Shweta. Okay, so Ashok Karyal, I think your actual overheads are correct. This is a complete question. Everything is covered in details. Okay, again, I have got answers from few. Rest all waiting for your answers. Last 3 minutes. Incorrect answer, Mamta Nisha Kumari. I think your answer is incorrect. Ashok Karyal, incorrect answer. Okay, so now I've got answer from Gumti. I think. Let me check, Miss Gumti. Gumti, incorrect answer, my dear. Yes, Preeti, waiting for the correct answer. Miss Sanjana, Ashok, waiting for the correct answer, my dear. Sakshi, Kadambari, please keep on trying. Avinash, Manish Kumar, Sushil, Suman Goyal, Vijay Raghavan, Mr. Gajendra Tiwari, waiting for your answer, waiting for the answers from your end. So let's start, guys. When talking about actual overhead, it includes indirect wages paid for strike period, so it will be deducted. Paid as awarded by the code, it will be deducted. Previous year expenses booked in current year, that will also be deducted. And return of obsolete stores, this will be deducted. So 3 plus 2, 5 plus 2, 7, 1,08,000 will be deducted. So my actual overheads will be 12 lakh minus 1,08,000. Okay, so I have got answer from Preeti. Again, incorrect answer, my dear. Absorbed overhead, I think it is correct. I think, one second. Mr. Srinivasan, yes, absorbed overheads are correct. Amit Bishwas, incorrect answer. Kadambari, I'll explain it in detail. Don't worry. That's okay, Sanjana. Sushil, uh, again, incorrect answer. Sushil. Now, so I have got the actual overhead, that is 12 lakh minus 1 lakh 8,000. 10 lakh 92,000. This is my actual overhead. Now, when talking about my actual hours, see, actual hours are 1,56,000. Of this, 3,000 is overtime hours. Okay, overtime are में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है because it's the nature of business. तो कभी कभी overtime करना पड़ता है. But this is an abnormal cost. Abnormal hours, or we can say idle hours, are abnormal. So when talking about actual hours, it will be 1,56,000 minus 6,000 abnormal hours will be deducted. So my regular actual hours will be how much? 1,50,000. Now my absorption rate is given in the question. So this overtime hours are given just to confuse you guys. इसका question से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. But yes, idle hours being abnormal in nature, that's why we have deducted. So now my absorption rate is given, that is rupees 5 per hour. So my absorbed overheads will be how much? 1,50,000 into 5, 7,50,000. So my absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads. So under absorption is there. By 3,40,000 rupees. This is my under absorption, 3,42,000. No worries, that's okay. Now, very important point, a language twist in this question. Of the total under or over absorbed overheads, 1/3 is due to inflation. Very important, guys. अब तक जो हम लोगों ने क्वेश्चन किए थे उसमें क्या था, 1/3 और 60% is due to wrong estimation or lack of planning or whatever the reason. But herein, I have twisted the language a bit, wherein 1/3 is due to inflation. So, due to inflation, it is 1/3. So 3,42,000 divided by 3, 1,14,000 is due to inflation. So we will calculate the supplementary rate. So this is the twist, wherein if it is due to inflation, we will calculate the supplementary rate. And if it is due to wrong estimation, we'll transfer it to costing P&L. That is 2,28,000 will transfer to costing P&L. No, overtime is never, I mean, not an abnormal item, my dear. I know, Vijay. Overtime is normal in nature, Rohan Kumar and Nisha Kumari. Suman Goyal, still incorrect answer. So now, when talking about the supplementary rate, I think this part of board is visible to all. Okay, great. So when talking about the calculation of supplementary rate, again, 1,14,000. So calculation of supplementary rate, wherein 1,14,000, this was the twist, 1,14,000 whole divided by, of the units manufactured 20,000, 3,000 are still in stock. It means 70,000 is units sold plus 3,000 finished stock plus when talking about work in progress, 5,000 units are 60% complete. It means 3,000 and 4,000 units that are 50% complete. It means 2,000 plus 3,000 plus 2,000. That is work in progress. So you'll get the final answer. $4.56. So guys, this is a complete question. See guys, 90% of the work is done if you read the question carefully. Okay, कुछ लोगों ने start किया, but कुछ लोगों ने ये दोनों आवर्स डिडक्ट कर दिए. So first mistake. अच्छा, अगर कुछ लोगों को ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आया तो आगे जाते जाते ये 1/3 2/3 में लोगों ने मिस्टेक कर दिया. So guys, my point is, first of all, stick to the concept that is what is abnormal and what is normal. Second point, half of the work is done. Half of the work is done if you read the question carefully. Almost जिन लोगों ने इतना सॉल्व कर लिया, बट रिमेनिंग जो है इस लैंग्वेज में काफी लोग कंफ्यूज हो गए. That's why they were not being able to post the correct answer. So guys, when talking about how to write the exams, half of the work is done. अगर ICAI आपको 15 minutes time देता है पढ़ने के लिए, पेपर पढ़ने के लिए, so guys, read each and every word of the question carefully. कहीं पे भी लैंग्वेज ट्विस्ट हो सकता है. So guys, my suggestion, read the question carefully. काफी लोगों ने almost इधर तक सही किया था. That is, most of the students were, many of the, not most of the actually, many of the students were able to solve till 3,42,000. But yes, when talking about this part, almost 2 students were able to answer correctly. Rest all, like many of you guys have calculated the supplementary rate using 2,28,000, but it is incorrect. So guys, this is a complete question of what we have discussed till now in today's session, wherein we discussed under absorption, over absorption. Thereafter, we discussed the calculation of supplementary rate and all the treatment thereof. So this is the complete question. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. I think I need to discuss one question on machine hour rate, but it's already 9:30. So don't worry, in the next session, in first 10 minutes, we will discuss a question on machine hour rate, and then we'll proceed with activity-based costing. So if you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. Okay, Sushil Kumar Barik sir, how come units sold 17,000? So total units manufactured are 20,000. Total units manufactured are 20,000. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Total units manufactured are 20,000. Out of these 20,000 units, 3,000 units are still in stock. It means what? 17,000 units are sold. Anyone else? कादम्बरी, बट दैट्स ओके. ओवर टाइम इज नॉर्मल इन नेचर. कई बार बिजनेस में अगर एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डर्स रहते हैं तो दे हैव टू डू ओवर टाइम, बट यस, idle hours are abnormal in nature. Yes, Vijay. Will surely, Suman, don't worry. Anyone else having any doubts? Rohan, any doubts? Sushil, Rohan, Mamta, Sanjana, Kadambri, Preeti Khetan. I think you didn't, you posted incorrect answer. Mr. Srinivasan, hopefully now you are thorough with the concept. Manish Kumar, yes, 4.56. Very good, Manish. Anyone else? Ashok, any doubts? Nisha Kumari, Kiran, any doubts? I'm done with this part. One more question I want to discuss relating to machine hour, but it's already 9:32. Many students, काफी students को articleship के लिए निकलना पड़ता है. That's why ICAI has suggested this time only till 9:30. So Avinash Patil, any other doubts, queries? Sakshi, Harish, Mr. Gondi, Mrs. Saxena, Nancy Saxena, Gunjan Kumar, any doubts? I understand. Don't worry, you will find it easy. You'll find it easy. The more you practice, the more you will be thorough with the concepts, Mamta. Don't worry. Practice is the key and practice is the solution for all your problems. So guys, thank you so much. I want to discuss, I'll be discussing, in fact, one question on calculation of machine hour rate in the next session. So that's it for the day. Thank you so much, guys. Apart from calculation of machine hour rate, everything is finished in this chapter. So I request you guys to please start solving the question of study material plus the past practice manual. There are few good questions in RTP. Examiner आपको ऐसा question दे सकता है और साथ में पूछ सकता है actual overheads निकालने हैं, and these are the multiple choices. So case study based question you can find in exams. But guys, don't worry, no rocket science. Stick to the concept, solve each and every question step by step, and whatever the answers you are getting, you will find it in the multiple choice question. So don't worry. Solve the question patiently, you'll be able to crack the exams. So thank you so much, guys, for your time and patience, for active participation in the session. Don't get disappointed if your answers are incorrect. Don't worry. Practice. Try to focus more on concept. Revise what I have discussed till now. You'll be able to answer the questions correctly. So don't get demotivated or anything like that. It happens. आप first time पढ़ रहे हैं, so there are chances कि शायद कुछ answers गलत हो. But don't worry. Practice. Focus on concept. You'll be able to solve all the questions. Trust me. So thank you so much for your time and patience. Have a great day. Tomorrow, I think we have a session of activity-based costing. So in first 10 minutes, we'll discuss a question on machine hour rate, and thereafter we'll start with activity-based costing. So thank you so much, guys. Manish sir, I'm done.